to my channel. My name is Crystal and this is my husband Daniel, and we are currently expecting baby number 2, child number 3. So we've been talking about things that would make this newborn and infant phase a little easier pretty much since Brixton was like 1, maybe. And so I've just been keeping a bit of a catalog of those things in my mind. So I did actually go ahead and write them down. And we're going to share those with you today. So we can jump right on in. If you saw my last video where I shared all of the reasons that I am excited about having a new baby and a little terrified about having a new baby in the house, then you know that we had some breastfeeding struggles, more so on the nursing side with Brixton. And so the number one thing that we are doing this time around is we're going to be, well, at least I am going to be taking a breastfeeding course. I did already purchase an online program from someone that I have been following for a while on Instagram. And she has a course out. It's called Boob School. I have not started it yet, but I can link it below just in case you are interested in taking a look at that. And I can also link her Instagram account if you want to check her out. But I believe that a lot of the things that she said she addresses in her course are things that would have been very helpful for us starting out. So the next one is something that I've been need to look into a little bit more, and also I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be able to do it, because what I have looked into is the cost, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do that, especially I'm a contractor, so I don't get maternity leave. So it's going to be unpaid time. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do this one, but I would love to, if we can fit it into the budget, I would love to get a postpartum doula. Again, in my last video, I did mention that our local support network isn't the strongest. Most of the people that we trust have very tiny people themselves, and having a tiny person, and I understand that it is hard for you to step away from your own family, and then the people that have older kids or no kids are scattered across the country. So would like to, if we can afford it, to get a postpartum doula. This next one is probably going to sound silly, but I think it's going to make all the difference. I plan to go to bed.
You know what? Me too.
You plan to go to bed?
I plan to go to bed.
I don't think you struggle with that as much as I did. It didn't feel the same for you either?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so maybe I should explain what I mean by I'm gonna go to bed. So what I mean by go to bed is, so when Brixton was born, again, just go back and watch the last video. It will put a lot of context to a lot of the things that I will be sharing on my channel throughout this pregnancy and through the newborn and infant stage. But I had a lot of postpartum anxiety, and I also exclusively pumped, which I mentioned in the last video is like feeding twins, because you have to feed the baby and you have to feed the pump. So I could not get a handle on time in my schedule, and like between the feeding, the pumping, the cleaning of all the bottles and the pump parts and the sterilizing and it was so much, and like the cluster feeding and him waking up, like it was a lot. It was a whole lot. And I felt like for the first 4 weeks of Brixton's life, it was just like the longest day ever. It was just like we went to the hospital, had this baby, and then it was like on October 26th, and then the next thing you knew, it was like November 26th, because it just felt like a 4-week day, because I never really got ready for bed and said, okay, it's bedtime. It was like, okay, Brixton's going to sleep again. It was never bedtime for him, and therefore I never had bedtime. And so I would literally mark the days by midnight. Like there was nothing to delineate what day it was, and I don't recommend that for anybody's mental health. So even if he goes down to sleep at 8:30 and is going to be up at 11, I'm going to go to bed, and that's going to be like, I'm going to get myself ready for bed and go to bed, and then I will wake up and feed him and make sure we're just going right back to sleep. So yeah, that's what I mean by go to bed. It's a larger part of taking better care of myself, both physically and mentally. So what was that like for you though? Like the sleep?
Well, most of the time I would wake up and be up for a second, and then so it was like hell week, because I would wake up and be up and then go back to sleep, and then wake up and then go back to sleep, and then wake up and go back to sleep.
Yeah, and something else that I didn't put on here that we've already talked about, and some of the stuff is on the registry. I don't think we kept it dark enough, like, because it never felt like I was going to bed. Like, I just felt like I was just waiting for him to wake up again, which I'm peeking at the monitor because I'm
Right.
waiting for him to wake up from his nap. But it was never.
We didn't do my advice method that I give everybody.
Which is.
Keep it dark when the baby wakes up, feed the baby, change the baby, comfort the baby. And
Yeah.
you basically, after you get into a rhythm, you really stay asleep.
Yeah, and I think because I think what really went wrong, again, it was what we needed to do to make sure he was fed, was when I had the triple feed.
Yeah.
And triple feeding is because he was such a sleepy eater. He was not taking enough at the breast, so he was losing weight. So would have to nurse him first, and then supplement with, pump and supplement with, and feed him the express milk. We did finally get into a rhythm once my supply was up from it just dropping from him not eating enough, to where he could, like, I could feed him, like, I'd nurse him, feed him previously expressed milk, and then try to get him back to sleep before I had to pump again. But I think we also did all of that in, like, the wrong environment. Like, it was just too, I think it's too stimulating, maybe. And so he wasn't going right back to sleep or anything like that. So it was just a lot of unexperienced stuff happening. And so I think we'll do differently. We've got different nightlight situations on the registry, different blackout, like all those things. And speaking of sleeping and eating, I guess that rolls right into the next one. So when Brixton, I don't even remember the weeks, he was like naturally consolidating his night feeds into longer stretches of sleep. We were following a particular sleep program, and kind of like the timeline that they were giving, of course, there's a range of how, at what weeks this will happen, and these sleep, these things will merge. When he was probably around 3 months, I think that's when we were expecting that, like, he would make it to wake up time in the morning. So his wake up time was supposed to be 7 o'clock. Excuse me. And he was just like not making it.
Still doesn't make it.
He still doesn't make it. You're right.
He still doesn't.
He sleeps. I mean, I'm not complaining. He sleeps what, 11, just about 11 hours a night.
He gets his sleep, man.
But yeah, he was not making it. So instead of like 11, 12 hours, we were probably getting somewhere between 8 and 10 before he would wake up. And the couple of programs that I had looked at, one that we had been following, one that I like picked up along the way to see if there were any additional tips I could get, were adamant that at this many weeks, your baby should be able to make it this amount of hours. If you give them the feed, if they wake up early, then they're just going to keep waking up early, blah, blah, blah. What we're not going to do is listen to that advice.
Right.
Because I think that trying to stretch him to that wake up time that we were trying to get to was just more stressful, and we didn't get any sleep. Whereas he woke up at 5:30 and I had just fed the boy, and he probably would have gone right back to sleep at 6 and probably not gotten up to like 8 o'clock. So, and we could have gone back to sleep instead of waking up every 15 minutes because he woke up again. Listen, we won't be doing that again. So we are not stressing the early morning wake up. I will feed the baby.
Well,
and we'll put the baby back down.
So I think it falls in line with kind of what one of the I think it was the breastfeeding nurse, when she was saying kind of the baby knows somewhat what it needs.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll, feed, and like once you get into the rhythm, they'll feed and stop. I think sleep works a little bit the same way. Like you can prompt and you can try to guide and you know the science of it all. But if your baby's waking up early and they're showing signs of hunger,
feed the baby.
Feed the baby.
Yeah.
Feed the baby.
And then again, this was around 3-4 months. So we were like wake windows around that time are supposed to be like an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. And so we were trying to make it to at least an hour and a half. But that first, like in the morning, that first feed, first of all, he was really hungry. So he ate a lot, which is fine. But then we struggled to get him to stay awake for 90 minutes because he was sleepy. So if we had just let him eat at 5
and gone
back to sleep, then when he woke up for his official first morning feeding, he probably would have been able to stay awake for that first wake window much easier. So
let the baby lead a little bit.
Let the baby lead a little bit. Yes. Yeah. That's one thing we are gonna do differently. The next one, well, I guess the next two are gonna be very baby dependent because we definitely will need the baby's cooperation. Baby wearing. We mentioned this a couple videos ago. When you have a toddler or another child, probably that's not like, I'm gonna say another child. Did you see the shirt I put on the registry for you?
No. What?
It's a baby wearing shirt for dads.
Does it have back support?
I'll pop it on.
Does it have like motorcycle spine?
Well, no. I mean, it's for a baby. It's gonna be for a baby.
Military grade spinal.
It's essentially like the wraps that I got for me, but like it's more masculine. It's a shirt. It's like looks like a t-shirt, but it has like a pouch for the baby to go in.
That's masculine.
I'll have to pop it in so y'all can see what I'm talking about. I'll pop it in on the screen. But yeah, we're gonna have to wear this baby because we have a toddler, so it's gonna be a little challenging unless this kid is just like, I don't want you to touch me, lay me on the floor, and
walk away,
and I'll be okay. Then we're gonna have to baby wear. So, the next one.
I'm sorry.
The next one is weaning from the pacifier. This is the last thing I think that we were planning to do differently, and we're gonna play it by ear. But we didn't wean Brixton from the pacifier until he was 18 months. We didn't give it to him until we stopped nursing, so he was 4 weeks.
Okay. I was trying to figure out when did we give it to him?
Yeah, he was 4 weeks when we gave it to him, and
we made it a month.
Yeah, but he wanted one. Like, he tried to make me a human pacifier. So he really wanted one, and we could tell that he wanted one. And when we decided to exclusively pump, and so he could have the pacifier, different baby. Completely different baby. But we relied on that, I think, a little too much. So then he was like almost 18 months, and the pediatrician and the, pediatric dental experts and all, like, you gotta get him off that pacifier. So
I don't feel like it was that much of a press. I feel like they were like, you might want to start thinking about this.
I felt like what I was reading and what the pediatrician was saying was that.
Really?
18 months.
Wasn't he like the first one at school?
Let's not let that.
I understand. But we did really well.
Like weaning him from it?
Well, once we decided we were weaning him, it was like a week.
Yeah, because we don't play those games.
Yeah.
Don't draw it out. If anything, don't draw out the weaning.
Yeah, no.
Don't draw out the potty training. If you're
making a change, make the change.
Make the change.
Figure out the best way to make that change quickly. Let the baby. We didn't just like take it and be like,
no.
like, or take his diaper off and be like, kind of.
We did.
We were like, go on the floor. This is you going.
Okay, well now we're gonna have to do a potty training video. We'll make the potty training video. No, we actually got a weaning system because he was so much older. Like a lot of the blogs and videos and things I looked at were saying to do it around 6 months or before 6 months, and to just kind of go cold turkey, like to start with just sleep.
I feel like,
and then to just
See, for me, I feel like before 2 was like great. Like he was 1.5.
He was. Well, so 18 months is what the experts recommend being the absolute cutoff. They say before 6 months is going to be the easy. I think it's either before 6 or before 7.
Okay.
It's going to be the easiest.
So
moving on. Some things that we plan to do the same. I feel like there's only a couple of things on this list that makes it seem like we didn't like how we brought him up, which is not true. Yeah. We are very happy with a lot of the things that we did with Brixton, a lot of the habits that he formed. His teachers have always been.
So okay. So let's, before we get into all the sames, right? Mm-hmm. Weaning from the pacifier. Mm-hmm. Would we use the same weaning system?
Yes.
Pop it in.
Okay. So there we go. That's the weaning system we use, and I'll link it down below.
Yeah.
It was very helpful, and it worked, and his teachers were amazed.
Yeah, I was amazed.
The fact that it worked so
I was amazed because when I looked at it, I was like, this ain't gonna work. I was like, we're gonna try it. It ain't work. We'll figure it out.
I mean, I was a little mad that it was like $20-something for a week for something that he was only gonna use for a week. But we still have it because that can be, I think I sterilized them already. I'll do it again. It was worth every buck.
Yeah.
Because that could be especially over the age of like 7 months, that can be, they have that emotional attachment to it. It's not just the suck action anymore because they eat food and drink out of cups and all this thing. Right. It was comfort. And so there's that emotional detachment from it. So yeah, definitely would recommend it.
I thought it wouldn't work. And I was like, we'll figure something out. We'll try something new next week. I don't know. And it was like, like once we got down to like the last 2, maybe,
he didn't even want it, and he was frustrated and he didn't want it.
Yeah. And then the last one he was just like playing with. He just like had it in his hand, like
getting him to sleep was a little more challenging because he was upset because he wanted it. Yeah. But he was also tired. Yeah. It worked out, and it wasn't too long that it was a big problem. No. All right. So the things we are going to do the same. This one kind of goes into one of the ones that we were doing to do different. Is that we are going to still do sleep training, sleep teaching. Some people get offended by the word training. It's fine. If that offends you, then we'll say teaching. But we will do a sleep program, and we have the one that we used. Like I said, it was helpful. It did, for the most part, work for daytime sleep, because I know some babies that sleep through the night early don't sleep well during the day, and there were different things about sleep props and all that stuff. We learned a lot in doing that, and it will probably always be foundational for us, but we do plan on getting a different program. The program that we followed with Brixton was the On Becoming Baby Wise. It's a book, and we got it in the audiobook so I could hear it all, but then we also bought the book so we could see everything and how they were mapping out the schedules and stuff like that. So we will still, I actually dug the book out recently. It's upstairs. I haven't opened it yet, but to kind of refresh. And I'm pretty sure we know which one we're going to do for or add on for this baby, but we will let you know that once we're doing some newborns night routine or newborn sleep videos, because we just want to make sure, because we might get this one and then be like, intuitively feel like that's not gonna work, and then we'll try something different, like we'll get a different one. So we will let you know. When you'll find out once that baby is here what program we are using for sleep. No baby shoes. No. Your baby doesn't need foot binding. That's really what it is.
Let your baby's feet spread. Let them learn how to walk using their feet. Let their feet grow.
Let them explore their feet. Let them feel the world with their feet. Sometimes that's all they can do is kick their little feet out.
Yeah.
So, we don't believe in baby shoes. Brixton didn't put shoes on until he had little, like, they weren't like moccasins. They were like
sockies.
Sock type booty
and
to put on because it was cold. And then he had
the ones with the rubber grippies to like, well, that was when he started walking.
He was walking, yeah.
When he first started walking. We still weren't really doing shoes.
I don't think we really did shoes until he moved into the classroom.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't walking yet when he moved in there. So we did start giving him shoes when he moved into the classroom.
Your baby don't need Jordans.
Save your money.
Your baby don't even need Oshkosh or Ninja Turtles. Not when they're a baby. They don't need shoes.
I'm sorry. I know they're cute, but get some cute socks.
Some cute socks.
Or those little socky like foot coverings that are a little
like something that's like a moccasin. Nothing with like a hard sole or like a binding thing.
Freedom of movement is very important in that first year.
Yeah.
And they will force the freedom of movement later, but like when they don't really have a choice, like give them all the freedom of movement. If we don't know if this is a boy or a girl yet, well,
I told you was dope.
We don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet. But if it's a girl, we can add to this list things that we won't be having. Dresses.
Half of us know what we're having.
Half of the two of us know what we're having.
Yes. 50% of all parties present.
But if it is a girl, we're not doing the dresses. I know they're cute. Maybe for a picture here and there. But like that is not functional clothing.
Sweats in a hoodie.
Yes, because I'm sweats in a hoodie. Like, why would
Jeremiah sweats in a hoodie?
Whole family.
Brixton sweats in a hoodie.
So why would we have this girl in like this little frilly, dainty stuff that she can't crawl in because it's all up under her knees?
And her
you're
knees
like, oh, put your legs down
because you getting all. Yeah, nah. Be a baby. Be a little person.
Sorry. If you like putting your little baby girl in dresses and stuff, you go for it. Like I said, we might do it for pictures, but like everyday wearing,
nah, it's not practical.
And we probably won't be the one buying the dresses.
Non-tactical wear. Your sister's gonna buy dresses.
Oh, my sister's absolutely gonna buy dresses.
Oh my god.
I think everybody's gonna buy the baby dresses.
Why? That's why I want.
Because they want to see.
See, that's another reason. That's another reason right there.
I think everybody will buy. Like, it's a girl, but. So the dresses will be purchased. Maybe to church on Sunday, and then after church.
We go to church enough.
Yep.
We go to church enough.
And those, growth picture, Oh. Anyway, no baby shoes and no everyday dresses.
No. Yeah, no everyday dresses.
And Brixton was in pajamas and sleepers all day.
For a good while.
Anyway, because what are you doing? You're peeing, pooping, sleeping, and eating. Like, why do you need to be in an outfit? Why am I stressing myself out? If I haven't showered in 2 days, why am I getting you in this cute little outfit? For Instagram?
Mm-hmm. You do it for the gram.
I'm not doing it for the gram. Not all like that.
No. No, not doing it for the gram.
Yeah. And there's one other thing that we are big on that we're gonna try. Again, the baby dictates a lot of this stuff, but we will work on it, which is having structure and routine. Mm-hmm. And we'll put the kinda on that one because again, we do have a toddler and a teenager, and their schedules can be a little demanding as it is. Mm-hmm. So you can go back and again watch that last video I posted about that. But yeah, we want to have structure. We believe that we have had such great success with Brixton developmentally and with sleep because he has had structure and routine.
He's learned to have an expectation.
Yeah, since he was born. Mm-hmm. However, when we break the routine, we have hell to pay.
You say what?
We have hell to pay. Like when his routine is disrupted.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's been so routine. So the kinda is that we do want to find ways to intentionally add in flexibility. Yeah. So like from the beginning, intentionally break up the routine a little bit. Not like every day or anything like that. But like once a week. on purpose,
right,
from the beginning,
right,
knock something off, just so that the baby is used to the fact that, okay,
things
I
can
might have
change.
to take a nap at
Right.
the park.
Right.
Or something like that. Like,
He still doesn't he doesn't sleep in the car.
he doesn't sleep in the car. The only time he really slept in the car, well, of course, when he was little, and they sleep all the time.
And when we travel.
And when we travel, but when he first started at daycare, because he wasn't taking naps.
Oh yeah.
But it was, honestly, it fell perfectly in line with his cat nap time.
Yeah.
In his schedule.
Right.
So it was just a matter of the fact that he didn't want to wake up.
Right.
When we got home, and I'm like, well, you're doing more than a cat nap at this point, son.
Right. You're trying to sleep.
You're trying to go to sleep, and we
Right.
still need to eat and take a bath. But yeah, and then that period of time, he would wake up long enough for me to give him a bath, get him in his pajamas, and then he would fall asleep on the bottle. And I would have to just hold him upright for 10 minutes to get him burped and make sure all the milk was down before I laid him down, because he was so tired.
That's something we'll do the same.
What?
Feed the baby upright.
Yeah, because we have to do about once we introduce bottles and stuff.
Yeah. Feed the baby upright. Yeah.
And we did. Oh, he's waking up. We did something else. We will do is be very specific with his child care team about how to feed him bottles, him or her. Bottles. We do paced bottle feeding. So we will do that the same. That mimics the sucking action and the effort required to nurse is the same effort. And so even though we knew Brixton wasn't going to nurse again, we wanted him to develop all the jaw strength and all the oral stuff that happens from nursing, because it's not just about breast milk, but nursing gives them benefits with oral development. So paced bottle feeding is the best way to mimic that. So even if you bottle feed, you formula feed, whatever you do, you can get those same benefits from paced bottle feeding.
And it keeps them from being
gassy. Yep. Keeps them from being gassy, reduces risk of ear infections. Yeah. So highly recommend paced bottle feeding. I'll link a video, quick, it's 3 minutes, I think, down below on how to do that. Okay. So the little one's waking up. That is all the stuff that we are thinking about as we prepare for this little one in less than 20 weeks. Probably about 17 weeks from now. If you have any other tips on some things to think about as we are going into 1 little to 2 littles, please share those below, because we are all about the tips. And if there was anything that didn't make sense and I could clarify for you more in the comments, put those below as well. Otherwise, we will see you in the next video. Bye. Or at least I will.
Deuces. That course is BYOD.
Bring your own boo.
Yes, I don't think I'm gonna be able to take it.
I'll probably ask you to watch the modules that I think would be helpful for you to know, for positions and stuff like that, as I'm
Positions?
Keep it clean.
Oh. We married. You ain't get to breastfeeding by positions now. Jeez, oh man. You know what? You should start now.
I go
Practice
to bed.
it.
What? Because I'm going to bed on time? I try.
Where?
Baby wearing.
We'll let Jeremiah wear the baby. Brixton. Oh no. No. Brixton would hate that.
Yeah, no. No. He's going to probably have a hard enough time with me wearing the baby.
I think he would have a harder time with Jeremiah wearing the baby.
Do you think?
If Jeremiah is wearing the baby and nobody's wearing him, if Jeremiah is wearing the baby and nobody's wearing him, that
carrier that he hasn't seen in months and months and months, he's gonna be asking for it. Where mine?
My poor back.
Daddy, carry me.